Hi fans of high quality entertainment. I am here to review, wrong one, here it is, the John Lennon Mind Games Deluxe box set, which was gifted to me by the Lennon estate, and it was also gifted to a few other YouTube channels such as these. And I highly suggest, if you're thinking of buying the deluxe box set, I would suggest watching at least, not just this one, because my reviews aren't always the best. Just the way I feel, I am always, believe it or not, 100% honest, and I believe all of the other channels that I have watched through the years that are gifted Lennon box sets or McCartney, they are honest too. And I think there's always going to be somebody being negative about all this. I've watched all of the other reviews, and they nitpick at a few things. It's no big deal. But overall, guess what? We are all fans of John Lennon, the Beatles, and for me personally, I think the Beatles are the best. They are the best, right up here. And just below them are especially John and Paul. And sadly, it's more, I guess Paul would be my favorite and then John, but it's because he's had a much longer solo career, a lot more music, sadly. I mean, not sadly, but unfortunately. Well, maybe sadly when it comes to Pipes of Peace. So yeah, I really took my time with this because I don't know what it is, but I've been a little stressed about reviewing this. Maybe with seeing like a small percentage of negative comments elsewhere and on Facebook. And you know how some people can just be annoying. But anyway, this is an honest review. If you don't believe me, I really don't care. Go elsewhere. So, my history with the original album is, as I mentioned in a previous video, in the unboxing. By the way, there is an unboxing video, if you want to watch that first, to see everything that is in this excellent deluxe box set. But in the 70s when this came out, I never bought it. I couldn't afford to because I was just 58, 68, 15 years old. I didn't have a job yet, and I didn't have much money. But one of my older brothers bought it, so I did hear it, and I thought it was good, but I guess part of it has to do with I never found it, I never bought it on my own and grew to listen to it and hopefully love the album, like some of the other John Lennon albums that I did buy. And through the years, I just hardly ever played it. And even when I bought this is the 2010 remaster, I would play it, of course, but then I would put it in my CD collection for a year or two and never play it. I would focus on Plastic Ono Band, Sometime in New York City, which I actually do love, Walls and Bridges. And so this one, I don't, before I received this deluxe box set, I didn't even know. Like, I knew Mind Games, Tight As, One Day at a Time, Meat City, of course, but some of the tracks I wasn't that familiar with, and so some of this was like a new listen for me, and I know a lot of the other reviewers know this album really well, or the previous remix of this, but I haven't even listened to this while listening to the deluxe box set. I'm just focusing on the new remix and the bonus tracks and everything. And I have played everything. I've played the, like I said, the bonus tracks, and yeah, one of the other videos I saw, or I didn't know, right? You need it's called a black light, even though it looks blue to me. And then you can do stuff like this, and there are the bonus tracks. And I guess there's even stuff in the book to search with. And I'll just show you the one CD, the first one here. There, as you can see, is John Lennon and Yoko. Isn't that cool? And that's for all of the discs. They change. Pretty cool. Yeah, so Beatly Tone's Beatles channel just released his over an hour-long review. So he goes into a lot of these other channels go into more detail. I'm mainly gonna focus on the remix of the original album, but I did want to mention the bonus discs. Yeah, so there's classic album review. There's Mean Mr. Mayo, Andrew Dixon, John Headon, who was on Pop Goes the 60s channel. And I'm sure there's other ones too, possibly, but I've watched all of those videos, and like I said, they were all very interesting and honest. So the ultimate mix, the first disc, is the remix. You know, the original was kind of muddy. That was kind of a turn-off for me too. The production wasn't the greatest. And so with this new remix, the songs actually come out of hiding. And John's voice is more up front. But when, like for instance, the remix of Mind Games, it's not like, oh my God, this is so different. It is the song Mind Games as you always knew it, but it's just more clear. All of the instruments there's better separation of all of the instruments, no more muddy sound. And like I said, John's voice is up front a bit more, but not, you know, over the top in any way. Yeah, so disc 2 is Elemental Mixes. It's stripped back acoustic versions. No drums. John's vocals are up front. And for a lot of the bonus discs, you know, there's demos and everything. And sometimes, of course, John didn't like his own singing for whatever reason. Silly John. And on some of these tracks, on the bonus discs, it's not double tracked or anything, and John's vocals are just so good. So really impressed with that. And yeah, it's kind of like Double Fantasy when the stripped down version, which I highly recommend you checking out. The Element Mixes is it highlights from 1 to 2 or 3 instruments. For instance, Mind Games is just the keyboards. It's very relaxing when you're stressed. And I've been stressed this last couple of weeks. It's very soothing, really nice. But it's not something I would play, you know, a lot. But once in a blue moon, I would put it on when I'm stressed. Evolution Mixes. Each track is edited, so it starts with the demo, like on a cassette or whatever, mono, and then they're just fleshing out the song that has different little you know, rehearsals or whatever, and then it ends with the final version of the song. So, and it's funny to hear John talk, like also in the book, I wanted to add, all the other musicians that talk about working with John, they said he was, you know, he was John. He was super nice, and if he was to be serious about something, he would say, come on, girls, you know, like, do it better or whatever. But just, you know, they seem to really enjoy working with him. The raw studio mixes are master tapes without overdubs. I feel this is the best one. This is one I will be playing, not as much as the original remix, but once in a while I will be playing that. And John's vocals are not double-tracked, I believe. The outtakes are interesting. Not my favorite bonus disc, but still, You Are Here is, I think, over 11 minutes long. It's gorgeous. The Utopia National Anthem, there's a John and Yoko conference, so it's not just a demo of the 3 seconds of silence. And by the way, the remix of Utopia National Anthem is just, whoa, you gotta hear it. Okay, I lied. And I believe the outtakes are what comes with the double CD and the vinyl. You know, if you don't want to put out the money for the deluxe box set, no one's forced to buy it. But I highly suggest, if you're a John Lennon fan, even if you thought Mind Games was mediocre or just so-so, I highly recommend you get at least the remixed album, because you will be impressed. And yeah, the hidden tracks, I'm the Greatest, that I believe is from the Ringo sessions, because you can hear George and Ringo on the track, and it's a fun listen. Yeah, it's pretty cool to hear John singing. You know, he wrote it, of course, for Ringo. And then You Are Here, which is extended. It's really nice. The one I'm not crazy about is Mellotron Magic Weird Slide Guitar. It's okay to listen to once, maybe twice. Rock and Roll People, an outtake, that's really good. Meat City, the single version, which has a different little, you know, that little crazy part in the middle of the song, has a little different bit in that, which I remember because I did have the single. And yeah, and also, yeah, to find these hidden tracks, I don't want to say how, because I found out from Mean Mr. Mayo's video. So, you know, it's like I didn't find it on my own. So thank you, Mean Mr. Mayo. So for the songs, I now overall love the album. There are, I think, 2 or 3 songs that I'm not as crazy about, which I'll get into. But first of all, Mind Games. The remix is excellent. John's vocals are clearer. And like I said, there's more separation for all of the instruments. But it's not like it sounds natural, like a remix without overdoing the remix. Tight As, I've always loved that song. It's a great rockin' track. And I think it would have fit on Imagine. Like some of these songs, when I'm listening to them, it's like, oh yeah, that could actually be on this album or that album. And for Tight As, it could be on Imagine, kind of similar to Crippled Inside in a way. And Sneaky Pete, all of the musicians, I did write down their names here somewhere. Yeah, Jim Keltner on drums, Sneaky Pete on the pedal steel guitar, so good. David Spinoza and Ken Asher. And they were on Yoko Ono's, I forgot the name of it, Feeling the Space. Although I like this album, but the one before Approximately Infinite Universe is one of my all-time favorite double albums. But this is good too. And so the musicians from here, John was really impressed with, so he had them on the Mind Games album. Now I'm going to mispronounce this, so I'm just going to say the one in brackets. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it at the moment. But this song is gorgeous, with John's vocals up front. Just great vocals. Beautiful song. One Day at a Time. Now, John sings this in falsetto, and it was suggested by Yoko in the book. It's, you know, talks about all of these songs. And it is really nice. I love. The only thing about the song that kind of has always bugged me more in the past than now is One Day at a Time was a comedy show in the 70s. So whenever I would hear that song, I would think of that stupid TV show. But it's not one of my favorites, but it's good. Okay, one song, Bring on the Lucy, Frida People. It would fit on Sometime in New York City because John's being, a little political again. Nothing wrong with that. But the verses to me seem a little forced, like the lyrics and everything and the way John's singing it. But I know some people complain about the background vocals not maybe being a bit over the top or whatever, but I love the chorus and the background vocals and do it, do it, do it now, all that. Utopian International Anthem, 3 seconds of silence, but it's remixed and it sounds amazing. It's a joke. Okay, and if this was on vinyl, we'd flip over the vinyl. Intuition. For me, some of the lyrics, once again, seem a little awkward, but I like the chorus. Intuition, ah. So yeah, I like that much more than the verses. But I'm not saying I don't like the song. We're getting to the really good stuff in a second here. Actually, right now. These last one, well, sorry, there's one song that's kind of so-so. But 3 of these final 4 songs are my favorites on the album. Out of the Blue, once again, a beautiful song with one of John's best vocals in his whole solo career, for me. And I could see that fitting on Walls and Bridges. Only People is probably my least favorite song on the album. It has a catchy chorus, but once again I feel the verses are a little on the weak side. Yeah, just for my own personal taste. Like every time I listen to the album, I don't skip any songs. I'm one of those guys that even if I don't like a song, I listen to it again. Because you never know, you might enjoy it more in the future. Okay, I Know, and You Are Here, and Meat City are my favorite songs on the album, along with Mind Games, of course. But I Know is, I keep saying gorgeous, but it's how I feel. And I believe, I could be wrong, this could be a message for Yoko, but I feel reading the lyrics, and I never realized this before, I think it's a message to Paul. As you know, on Wings Wildlife, there's a song, Some People Never Know. And on here, John writes, I keep wanting to say Paul, John. And I know just how you feel, and I know now what I have done, and I know and I'm guilty, yes I am. But I never could read your mind. I know what I was missing. But now my eyes can see I put myself in your place, as you did for me. Today I love you more than yesterday. Right now I love you more right now. I know what's coming down. I can feel where it's coming from. And I know it's getting better. All the time, as we share in each other's minds. So, at first, if it was just I love you more than yesterday, then it could be about Yoko. But when I heard him singing, I know it's getting better all the time, it's like, that's got to be for Paul. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. And then You Are Here, oh my God, beautiful, masterpiece. One of John's best solo songs. And like I said, I ignored it all these years. I probably, thought it was okay. That's the other thing I wanted to mention in the 70s. A lot of these are more laid back. And back in the 70s, I wanted John to rock. I wanted Paul to rock, like on Meat City. And so a lot of these were, slower songs and, about lovey-dovey stuff and all that. And now that I've matured at the tender age of 66, I enjoy it so much more. And then also, on top of it, the remix. So, And then Meat City I've always loved, and the remix is excellent. I love that. So yeah, I would rate this. This isn't my favorite album. My favorite would be, it's kind of tied, well, Plastic Ono Band, Walls and Bridges, Double Fantasy. I love, yeah, as some of you know, I'm a fan of Yoko Ono's music. Not all of it, but 80% of it. So this would be ranked maybe, I think I actually do, I'm a fan of Sometime in New York City, except for the live disc I'm not as crazy about, even though I'm a big fan of Frank Zappa. But I would rate it above Sometime in New York City now. So it would be probably maybe in 4th place. And I would, out of 10, I would give the album now, today, a very strong 8 out of 10. So, you know, and I'm going to keep listening to it, and I might actually start enjoying the songs I don't like quite as much, even more. And like I said, all of the bonus discs are really interesting. I think it's for the, you know, it's not just for the everyday fan that just likes to hear hit songs on the radio and buys an album. Some of us are more obsessed with, you know, especially the Beatles. For instance, for bonus tracks for other bands, a lot of the times I'm not that interested in them. But when it comes to the Beatles and Paul McCartney and the other solo Beatles, I'm interested, and I do want to hear them. And I found the bonus tracks overall to be very, very entertaining and interesting. Whew, that was stressful. Whew. Yeah. That's it. That's my honest review of the deluxe version. And like I said, mine isn't the most detailed. I'm not the greatest reviewer on YouTube. I never have been. I've never thought I was. But I have a huge passion for music. I love music as much as anybody out there. And so receiving these gifts from the Lennon estate, they mean a lot to me. I know I read somewhere yesterday, somebody said, yeah, they want to keep doing these good reviews so they receive more box sets. It's like, yeah, I want to get more box sets, yeah. But you know what? Me and these other people that are reviewing the John Lennon box sets, they are fans of John Lennon. They're big fans. They were talking about John Lennon long before the Lennon estate came along and gifted us these treasures. So shut up. And that is it. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Remember to leave a comment below and like the video or dislike it, I don't care. And please subscribe. And check out the other channels because they're the reviews of the box set from the other channels because they're excellent. Bye.